Hello again. I think anybody travelling in London lately, whether by tube, train or minicab, will have noticed that English is now an optional extra for those working for London Transport or driving cabs. Announcements made over the public address system in tube trains or on loudspeakers on stations often gabble away in very strongly accented English to the extent that it is impossible to understand a word of what the person is saying. Those standing on the platform at tube stations exchanged baffled glances. The person speaking over the tannoy system might have been announcing the need for immediate evacuation of the station, but since nobody understood a word of what they were saying, they simply shrugged and continued to wait for the next train. There are, of course, other dangers. If command of the English language is very poor, which in many cases it is, then how can staff read safety rules and know about the various laws and regulations which they are obliged to follow? For example, in the offices and the public areas, or the work areas, I should say, in every station in London, tube station, London Transport Station, is displayed a copy of the Shops, Offices and Railways Act 1963, along with the Health and Safety at Work Act 1974. If your English is poor, you won't even be able to read those things. The fact is, nobody cares. London Transport is run by the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, and he loves foreigners of any description, whether or not they can speak English. He's less concerned about the ordinary members of the public, especially those who are of white British heritage. The thumbnail to this video shows an image from the website of the Mayor's office, which was released by accident last year. The caption doesn't represent real Londoners to a picture showing a white family says it all, really. In addition to being able to speak English, cab drivers, private hire drivers in the jargon, have until now been obliged to pass a test on the safety, equality and regulatory understanding requirement, which means understanding about equality under the law, keeping passengers safe and all the regulations surrounding cabs and cab drivers. According to the London Transport, I should say now these days the Transport for London website, it is essential that London private hire drivers have an appropriate understanding of safety, equality and regulatory requirements that apply to them, because this helps ensure public safety and will enhance levels of customer service. Yeah, quite. That, the familiarity or the ability to pass a test in the safety regulations, together with the ability to be able to speak and understand English, has now been scrapped, or paused, as the Mayor's office calls it. Anything more likely to put passengers travelling cabs, especially lone women, at hazard, this is difficult to imagine. And for the rest of us, who are not at any sort of hazard, usually in a cab, it guarantees that we will find it even more difficult to make ourselves understood to the driver. I cannot for the life of me imagine why the Mayor of London has endorsed this move, unless it is simply that it is just one more thing that will make life difficult for white British Londoners.